Hey, this is Dave Thomas III. I'm your relationship coach here at Faked Out by Love. Let's talk about giving people attention in relationships. We know that in a relationship it's very important that you give healthy attention to each other, that you share a lot with each other, that you make the relationship fulfilling and give it a certain level of enrichment by all of these wonderful things you can do together. Even so much as going from taking road trips together to just sitting in the living room holding hands and watching your favorite soap opera. Whatever it is that you do to share attention with each other, to share each other, that's important to building the relationship, right? But sometimes you give so much attention to the other person in certain types of relationships that I've seen, and I call these relationships dysfunctional, and I say that for a reason, and this is why. Some people pay so much attention to the other person, trying to get them in return to pay their attention back. You see, the beautiful thing about attention in relationships is that it's meant to be shared, but that's not always the case. So I'm here to tell you right now that if you're one of these people who's giving a whole lot of attention to someone else's needs, issues, whatever you have, or whatever you want to call it in a relationship, but you're not getting like responses from them, you're not getting someone who's coming back and doing the same thing for you, then you might want to reconsider not only where your place is in that relationship, if indeed that you have one that's worthwhile entertaining, you might want to consider why it is that you're in that relationship in the first place, and make the appropriate decisions thereafter. That's why I say you only pay attention to those who have earned your attention. And that is a mutual situation. It's not singular. That's not one way. It's a two-way street. But again, I'm going to say it all over again. You only pay attention to those who have earned your attention. In other words, if you're in a relationship and all you're doing is discussing the other person's problems and their hassles and whatever in life, and they don't seem to pay attention to anything that's going on in your life, especially if you're in the early stages of a relationship as it's developing, then it might be time for you to jump ship and go someplace else. Find another port of destination that's more to your liking and that's more healthier for you. Because I can tell you right now that situations like that are not very healthy at all. I've known of situations where, and I've actually been in them myself, where I'm with a person and all they want to talk about is what they're going through. All they want to talk about are the things that are important to them. They don't want to discuss anything that's important to me. And I've been on the one-sided, lopsided type of circumstance like that before, and it's not a comfortable place to be. And what some people do is when they're the ones being starved for attention, they'll keep fighting to give the other person attention in the hopes that they'll turn around and acquiesce, and they don't do it. So here's a couple of things. To me, a relationship when it comes to attention has three different dynamics to it. Now, it has really many different dynamics to it, but these are three fundamental dynamics when it comes to paying attention to what's going on with the other person. The first one is, if you were asked, when was the last time that person showed interest in what you were going through, and you, for the life of you, cannot think of a single time that a person significantly showed actual interest and concern for you, bad sign. The second dynamic is if you're asked to think about that, and then you can think of one particular time, and not only is that one particular time so rare, so unique, and so isolated an event, you can remember what kind of perfume or cologne the other person was wearing. You can remember the music that was playing in the background. You can remember what time of day it was. You can remember what color shirt or blouse you had on. You can remember where you were when it happened, because it is so rare. And it was so unusual that someone would take a moment in those types of relational situations to show interest in what you're going through, that you could only remember that one time and everything that was associated with it. Now, three, the best type of dynamic is if you're asked about that and you can't, for the life of you, pick any one particular instance, because there's so many quality instances of when people showed interest in you to choose from that it's hard to select one to use as a great example. That's the best type of dynamic to have. That's the best type of situation to be in, because that means that on a regular basis, you guys are sharing healthy attention. On a regular basis, the other person is showing deference for you. They're showing respect for you. They're showing love for you. They're showing interest and concerns in the things that involve or are connected to you. That's where you want to be. The previous two dynamics, you don't want that, because what that means is you're essentially in a no-win situation. I'm just going to put it out there. Now, is it true that some people simply don't understand that relations are supposed to be cooperative in that way, where the playing field is supposed to be level in terms of sharing interest in one another, showing healthy attention to one another? That is possible, because some people, the way they're raised up, that's all that they know. Some people have so few experiences in relationships that they start to really believe that that's okay. Now, with a little bit of communication, or with a little bit of coaxing without being forthright and too direct about it, you can get someone maybe to pay a little bit more attention to you. For example, you can say, hey, listen, I have things going on with me too. Would you like to hear what's going on with me? And then if you start sharing a little bit about yourself, and if they listen for a minute or two and then immediately go right back to what they were talking about as if you didn't say anything, bad sign. Or what you can do is you can just start talking about things that you're going through. Not that you're ignoring them, but now you just start interjecting more of yourself into the situation for their consideration, for them to look at it, make some observances about what you're going through or what's of interest to you. And then, maybe show a little interest in what you're going through by making comments or asking questions and things like that. That's a good thing. But whatever it is, in the long run, if all you're getting is a one-sided situation, it might be time for you to decide what to do about that and maybe take off. Maybe, depends on the circumstances. You don't want to rush to judgment. You want to give it a little bit of time, not too much time. But if in the final analysis, what you see is just a one-sided thing, then you make the appropriate decision. Well, again, my name is Dave Thomas III. I'm your relationship coach here at Faked Out by Love. If you like this video, I hope that you do, go on down there and hit the like button. Go on down there and hit that share button. And hit that little bell there, because that's going to let you know every single time that I upload a video, which is pretty much every day or every other day. Also, leave a comment in the comment section. We're pro, con, positive, negative, I don't care. Leave me a comment. I'm always up to hear the thoughts and the viewpoints of my followers and listeners. Well, it's great talking to y'all. I hope y'all have a great day.